Rice scooped into a wooden box, a low murmur at a shop counter, a pencil scratching in a pagoda ledger. Who keeps the books when banks are far away? Imagine that soundscape, simple, everyday, and quietly binding people together. I want you to listen with me to those small agreements because they tell a larger story about trust, care, and survival.
Welcome to Ancient Echoes, where we trace the threads that stitch Cambodia's daily life to its history. I'm Samnang Bradley, and today we explore those whispered contracts, rice for labor deals, rotating savings, store tabs, and pagoda ledgers that keep households afloat. Before we begin, a quick note. When we talk about private finances, consent matters. I'll repeat specific Khmer and English phrases later you can use if you're listening in the field.
Let's unpack that gently. What this reveals is not a secret system of exploitation, but a set of social practices, some nurturing, some fraught, that allow communities to manage seasonality and scarcity. We'll describe mechanisms, but this is cultural description, not financial advice. If you're considering supporting communities, seek local experts and vetted groups first.
Segment 1, a short primer. There are a handful of familiar forms you'll hear about again and again. First, rice advances. During planting or lean months, a neighbor or shopkeeper lends grain or cash to be repaid after harvest. Second, labor for grain bargains. Work traded directly for rice or a share of the harvest. Third, rotating savings groups. Often women-led pools where each member takes a turn receiving the collected amount. Fourth, the humble shop cab, small debts recorded by shopkeepers. And fifth, pagoda or temple ledgers, where monks or lay committees write names and notes, turning spiritual space into a record-keeping site.
Listen closely. The language we use matters. People often say, "I borrowed rice," or "I took my turn in the coffer," words that fold obligation and dignity together. The rotating savings, for instance, is more than money. It's mutual accountability, social insurance, and celebration planning all at once. The empathy here is strong. These practices are woven into festivals, funerals, and daily life.
Segment 2, Sounded Vignettes. Picture a woman at planting season. She's early at a neighbor's threshing pile. She steps forward and says she needs a few baskets of rice to seed her plot. The neighbor nods, hands over a small sack, and a simple note is made in a notebook stuck between the rice bags. Later, coins clack as a village group's steel box is opened. The women count and call names, sharing laughter and a little shame when someone misses a contribution. At the market, a shopkeeper flips a cracked ledger page and writes a short line. Soka owes 3 kilos. In a pagoda office, a monk's pencil marks a name beside a small loan given to a family after a flood.
That woman at planting, I can see her hands, dusty and steady, accepting the rice. The rotating coffer meeting, there's clatter, chatter, quick prayers. And the pagoda ledger, there's intentional slowness, a ritual of memory that makes obligations social and spiritual. The deeper story is that these moments are where community and economy overlap.
Segment 3, the social logic. Why do these systems work? Reputation, reciprocity, kinship, and gender shape everything. Reputation is a living currency. Someone who reliably repays, who helps at harvest, keeps community credit. Reciprocity isn't instantaneous. It might be repaid at a wedding, through labor, or by passing a gain down the line. Kinship obliges differently. Relatives often get more forgiving terms. Gender matters too. Women commonly manage rotating savings, and their social networks become crucial financial infrastructure.
From a cultural standpoint, consider how shame and honor operate. If a shop tab is left unpaid, the social pressure can be intense, but so can community care. Neighbors step in, or obligations are quietly forgiven to preserve relationships. That's where the layers matter. The economy cannot be separated from social life.
Segment 4, Migration and the Ledger. When people move, seasonally or across borders, Money begins to travel in different ways. Remittances arrive as cash in envelopes or as promises scribbled in a family notebook. Sometimes, someone returning from overseas will pay a long-standing tab, and that settlement reshuffles local reputations. But migration also creates cross-border obligations, a suitcase repayment, a promise to send money for the next harvest, a pledge kept via a phone call.
Consider the diaspora's role. Promises made abroad become social glue back home, but they can also create pressure on migrants to prioritize debt obligations over other needs. The research tells us this rewiring changes who is seen as reliable and how families negotiate risk across borders.
Segment 5. Ethics and Risk. We must be clear, these systems are not universally benign. Predatory lenders enter where trust networks fray, and cyclical debt can trap households. Publicly sharing ledgers or names risks exposing vulnerable families. So, we describe vulnerabilities so listeners understand, not to create how-to guides for borrowing.
We also talk about local mitigations, community watchfulness, rotating forgiveness, and informal arbitration. Women's groups sometimes negotiate lower interest or collective repayment plans. Temples can act as moral anchors, reminding people of mutual care. But all of this has limits. External support, training for ethical microfinance, and rights-based interventions are necessary complements.
Segment 6. Practical Field Etiquette. If you're in a village and curious about these practices, please follow consent-first steps. In Khmer, you can say, Som anunyate, knyong at som anunyat bante, which means, may I have your permission? May I ask for permission? In English, try, may I ask you about this? I will not record or share without your permission. If someone offers a ledger or receipt, ask if names should be blurred and always offer to anonymize locations. If you intend to share anything publicly, route it through the show curators or a trusted local organization first.
2 quick templates to use in the field. I respect your privacy. Can I take a blurred photo of this page with names hidden? And I would like to share an anonymized story. May I change names and location? Emphasize consent. Explain how you will use the material and accept if people say no. That refusal is part of respectful research practice.
We also urge listeners, this episode is descriptive. If you want to help, support vetted community savings groups, NGOs with participatory approaches, or local initiatives that empower women's financial autonomy. Don't offer loans or publicize debts. If you hear of a dangerous lender, connect with trusted local organizations rather than trying to intervene yourself.
Audience engagement. We'd love to hear a short, anonymized memory of a communal saving practice from you. 1 sentence describing the ritual, not the names. Share it on social media, tag Ancient Echoes and Samnong's YouTube, and include the hashtag Pledges and Promises. We will vet submissions and only feature anonymized stories that follow the consent protocol.
Conclusion. What do these quiet contracts tell us? They show how trust, obligation, and memory function as informal currencies. They reveal social resilience, how households manage shortage, plan festivals, and keep relationships intact. They also remind us that economy is never just numbers. It is people, promises, and the fragile work of keeping faith across seasons and borders. Let's keep listening carefully, respectfully, and with consent.
Thank you for joining this exploration. If this episode moved you, remember, ask before you record, anonymize names, and when in doubt, ask again. That's how we honor the people whose everyday agreements sustain community life.
Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
In the quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide, to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair, my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahili, mighty spirit awakened by the master's right. Let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahili.